The halls of Maxton feel colder today, like they already know something is about to break. Students move in quiet waves, but the space feels heavy, as if the walls themselves are holding their breath. Ruby stands near the stairway, clutching her books a little too tightly. Her fingers shake, not from fear, but from the weight of everything she hasn't said. She's been waiting for James since the early morning, checking the entrance every time footsteps echo. There's hope in her posture, but it's fragile, ready to crack. A soft breeze filters in as the main doors swing open. James walks in, his steps firm, his shoulders stiff with the kind of tension he doesn't show anyone. The camera stays low, capturing only the outline of his coat, the way his hand slides into his pocket, the quick rise and fall of his breath. Ruby turns and the air shifts between them, thick with things they both pretend not to feel. She takes one step forward, then stops, almost afraid of the distance he might put between them. James keeps walking without looking her way, and the silence is louder than any shout. A close-up shows Ruby's thumb rubbing against the edge of her notebook, a nervous habit she can't hide. She gathers a breath, summoning courage from somewhere deep. She knows he's been distant, colder than usual. She knows something changed between them, she just doesn't know why. And today she can't walk away without trying to find out. The hallway stretches long and empty behind him, but Ruby steps into his path. Everything pauses. The world outside this moment fades. It's just Ruby, James, and the storm neither of them is ready to face. Ruby steps directly into James's path, forcing him to slow down. The camera catches only the tension between their shoulders, the slight tremble in her hands, the stillness in his posture. She doesn't raise her voice. She doesn't need to. Her quiet words cut through the silence like a thread snapping. "James, can we talk?" It's simple, but the weight behind it presses hard against him. He stops, but only barely, like he's ready to bolt at any second. His jaw tightens, the movement subtle but sharp enough to show he's already guarding himself. He keeps his eyes turned away, staring at anything that isn't her. Ruby takes another small step, close enough that their shadows overlap on the floor. She searches his face even though she can't see it fully, trying to read the truth he's hiding in the spaces between his breaths. "You've been avoiding me," she says. Her voice steady, even though her fingers tug nervously at the spine of her book. "If I did something wrong, just tell me." A soft clatter echoes as one of her pencils slips from her grasp and hits the floor, but she doesn't bend to pick it up. She's too focused on him on the wall he's building brick by brick right in front of her. James shifts his weight, his shoes scraping lightly against the marble floor. It's the first real response he gives her, even if it's not a spoken one. He exhales slowly, the sound tight, tired, like he's been holding something in for far too long. Ruby's eyes soften. She thinks he's about to open up. She hopes he will. For a moment, the hallway feels suspended in time, waiting for his words, but James just shakes his head slightly, almost too small to catch. His hands stay buried in his pockets, a shield he refuses to lower. Ruby steps closer, her voice quieter now. "James, please. I deserve to know what's going on." He finally looks at her, just a quick glance, a flash of conflict. And that single moment says everything. He's hurting, he's scared. And he's trying hard not to let her see either. James's glance lasts barely a heartbeat before he tears his eyes away, as if looking at Ruby burns more than he can handle. The camera follows the tight movement of his shoulders as he pulls back, putting a thin slice of distance between them. It's small, but Ruby feels it like a blow. She doesn't speak, she waits, letting the silence give him space to finally tell her the truth. But the truth he chooses isn't the one she hoped for. His voice comes out low and sharp. "Ruby, just stop." The words land heavy, like the hallway suddenly lost all its air. Ruby's breath catches, her fingers curling around the edges of her books. She takes half a step forward, but James lifts a hand, not touching her, just stopping her with a single gesture that feels colder than actual contact. His hand trembles slightly, though he hides it by shoving it back into his pocket. "You need to leave me alone," he says. And this time there's no softness, no hesitation. Each word is clipped, like he's cutting ties one syllable at a time. "Whatever you think is happening between us, it's not real. It shouldn't have happened." He swallows hard, voice tightening. Get lost. Ruby doesn't react at first. Her mind stalls, trying to match the cruel sound of his words with the version of him she thought she knew. The camera captures only the slow rise of her shoulders, the way her grip weakens until her notebook slips from her arm and falls to the floor with a hollow echo. She doesn't bend to pick it up. She just stares at him, searching for even a hint that he didn't mean what he said, but James refuses to look at her again. His expression stays hidden, buried in shadows and turned angles. Maybe because he knows that if she sees his face, she might see the truth he's trying so hard to bury: fear, guilt, regret. Maybe all of them at once. He steps back, turning away as if walking from a fire he started himself. Ruby's voice barely rises above a whisper. James? Why? But he doesn't answer. He doesn't slow down. His footsteps fade down the corridor, each one heavier than the last, as if he's carrying more than just distance between them. The hollow silence that replaces him is louder than his words ever were. Ruby stands alone in the still hallway, her heart breaking quietly, without drama, just real. Raw pain he'll never see. For a long moment, Ruby doesn't move. The hallway around her feels frozen, like the world has paused to witness the exact second something inside her cracks. Her fallen notebook lies open on the cold floor, pages fluttering with the faint breeze from an unseen window. The camera lingers on her, hands open, empty, shaking slightly. But not from weakness. From shock. From the sharp sting of being pushed away by the one person she let past her guard. She finally breathes in. Slow and shaky, as if pulling herself back into her own body. Her eyes lower to the notebook, but she doesn't bend to pick it up right away. Instead, she lets the silence wrap around her, giving space for her hurt to settle, to reshape itself into something steadier. She wipes the corner of her eye with the back of her finger, not a broken girl, just someone gathering herself piece by piece. The camera shifts behind her, capturing only her silhouette against the long stretch of the corridor. A shadow standing firm even when her heart feels soft. Ruby kneels at last, gently lifting the notebook and brushing off the dust. It's a simple act, but it feels symbolic, like she's quietly choosing not to let James's words crush her. She presses the book to her chest for a moment, grounding herself. Then she stands, straighter than before, shoulders squared, chin lifted just enough to show that she hasn't fallen apart. Not truly. She turns away from the direction James walked, choosing a different path. Each step is slow but sure, her footsteps echoing with a new kind of strength. The hurt is still there, it won't fade overnight, but underneath it grows something stronger. Determination. Ruby knows this isn't the end of their story. She knows people push others away when they're scared, when they feel unworthy, when the truth threatens to expose their deepest wounds. And she knows James is carrying something heavy enough to make him run. As she walks, the camera follows from behind, focusing on the soft sway of her hair, the firm rhythm of her steps, the glow of morning light stretching across the floor ahead of her. Maxton Hall towers behind her, quiet and proud, as if watching her choose resilience over heartbreak. In the final shot, the hallway splits into two directions. Ruby takes the one opposite of James's, not because she's giving up, but because she's choosing herself first. Her journey isn't over. Their story isn't finished. But for now, she walks forward alone, stronger than he ever expected her to be.